But we're here now, and welcome. I am Andrea, and we have Jen tonight as well. Yvette is in the background doing the tech, and will hopefully do what she needs to do. Tonight, we're going to talk to you about something we have coming up, another virtual retreat. And those of you that have joined us for virtual retreats before, you know how much fun they are, how much you can get done during them, and how much you can learn. The one we're doing coming up in July, in about a month, a little bit more than a month. No, it's the end of June, isn't it? So it's less than that, actually. Is the Half Square Triangle retreat. So first, let me explain the difference between a retreat and a class. We are going to actually be teaching you things, but it's really up to you what you want to work on, when you want to work on it. It's a very low pressure, casual, fun kind of environment where we will be doing some demos, showing you how to do multiple ways for how to sew half square triangles, showing you how to, make different designs. The half square triangle is one of the most versatile motifs in quilting, I think. We use it all the time. You can see behind me, this used to be, this was the quilt we made to wrap around the cash counter in the store that we saved, and I just had to put it up for this. This is all just half square triangles. And let me hold one up. I found the leftovers actually as well. And so this is called a half square triangle because that's exactly what it is. It's a square with cut in half on the diagonal. So you have a half of a square. One triangle is half of a square. Half square triangles, or HST as it is often abbreviated. So we'll show you demos for different ways to sew half square triangles. There are lots of different options in the book for quilts you can make with half square triangles. We're also going to show you how to come up with your own designs and to kind of organize projects. So there's a lot to do here. These retreats are really nice because you can do as much or as little as you want. We're not checking, there's no police, there is either Jen, me, or Yvette will be there the entire time. We will be there if you have any questions, if you need any guidance, we'll be there for that. But you're kind of working at your own pace and just sharing. We do break at certain times and share our progress. Of course, you can share at any time. But we do have set aside times as well. And then we'll have demos and we usually have a few giveaways that we sneak that into. What else do we do, Jen?
We do little contests where you have to go find things.
Yes.
The most important part is that there is no expectation on anyone to produce anything. We sometimes have a little bit of one of our frequent flyers is sometimes a little confused that they're going to have to finish a quilt in the weekend and they don't want to fall behind. There's no behind. There is no behind.
It's at your pace. If you can finish a quilt in a weekend, that's great. And we have had people they finish tops for sure. We've definitely had people do that. We've had people work on multiple projects. They see the demo Friday night and they start a project based on that. And then they see the demo on Saturday and start a different project based on that. And it's honestly, for us, it's really fun to see what you guys come up with. And we've had some really good work come out from these workshops or retreats. But you could literally work on something completely different. You don't actually work on half square triangles, but that's sort of the theme. A lot of people do want some kind of guidance, and that's fine. But if you just want to hang out and sew with other quilters, that's fine too. Or you could even be working on clothes or home deck projects. If you're
Yeah.
sewing and hanging out, that's good enough for us.
It's so
You have to be
helpful
able to share
too.
what you're working on though too, because we want to see too.
Just having that container. I mean, even for me personally, just telling my husband, like, I'm sorry, I got to work all weekend. I'm just going to have to be in my studio sewing all weekend. It's part of my job, and it's believed. So I'm there a lot of the time
Yeah,
because I get away with it.
me too. If I can get childcare, that's some of the few times I have to actually sit down and sew. So I tend to get a lot done during these retreats, and I really enjoy them because
Yeah.
I don't get a chance to just hole up in my sewing room very often.
Right.
So just so
When is it? That's some good information.
yes,
Let me consult my
I remember
calendar.
it off the top of my head.
It's July 12th to the 14th.
So July 12th to the 14th, we start around 4 o'clock on Friday. You don't have to be there right at 4 if that's an issue. Don't worry about it. You can join whenever works for you. But we start late afternoon on Friday. We do introductions, and then we keep the Zoom open until 10. And then Saturday we'll have the Zoom open from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And then Sunday is 10 a.m. to about 3 in the afternoon. You do not have to stay on the whole time. You can come in and out as you please. That's not a problem. But one of us will be on the Zoom during that whole time, so that you have the opportunity to join us if you'd like. So the retreat, again, is on July 12th to the 14th. But signups close on the 28th at midnight. So that's this Friday, I believe. Yeah. So this Friday at midnight is when the signups close. So if you are interested in joining us, you just need to make sure that you get signed up before midnight on Friday. We have a QR code up on the screen that you can just scan with your phone and go right to the page with all the information where you can sign up. The reason we have to cut off the signups so soon is because we have to mail you your goodies. So everyone that joins will get a copy of this book, or we also have actually I have a couple cut, I could show you, a mystery bundle based on the colors that she uses on the cover and she has a block library here in the back with this lime, peach, turquoise kind of color story. So I have put together mystery bundles with those colors so that if you already have the book, we don't want to send you another one if you already have it. So when you sign up, you can choose whether you would like the book or the mystery bundle. And then there's a couple other add-ons you can choose if you want. You don't have to. But we're going to throw in a couple other goodies with the packages as well. So when we send those out, you'll get some surprises and the book and/or bundle. But we need time to send those to you. So we want to make sure we're trying to get them to you at least a week before the retreat starts. So I'll need to place my orders and then get everything ready to ship to you. So that's why we have to cut off the signups a little bit earlier than the actual retreat. But yeah, we've had a lot of people join us, and we have so much fun. Sandra is one that's been at most. I think she might have missed one because she was out of town, but she's been at most of them, and I think she has a good time. And what's nice about it is you learn from the other people too. It isn't just learning from us. You get to see other people's projects, what they're working on. And that's one of the most fun things about retreats in general. When you go to a retreat, obviously you can see what everybody's working on. You can ask people about their projects. So we're taking that good part of a retreat, but you can do it from your home. So you can stay in your pajamas. You have all of your fabric stash at your disposal, your machine and your space, all of that good stuff. So you don't have to schlep everything to some other place. So that makes it kind of handy and easy for a lot of people to do.
Yeah. Yeah, they're so much fun. I just can't like the first time we did it, I was like, I don't know. And now I'm just like, oh, we need to put another one on the schedule. Maybe next week we need another one.
And we have a bunch of ideas. We have a lot. We have a lot that we're hoping to get scheduled as soon as we can. So there will be more coming up. I
Yeah.
know July is a little bit hard for some people with vacations and whatnot. But if you're around, that would be great. If you could join us, we would love to have you. I could just show you a little bit more of the book here. There's a couple, well, there's several projects. Let me see if there's one page that shows all the projects. Doesn't look like it. But I'll show you a couple of the projects. But it's a really good book. She shows you different ways to make half square triangles. She's got charts for, what size, if you're trying to make a certain size, how many to cut and, what sizes to cut, what finish sizes you'll get. There's a 2 at a time method, a 4 at a time, 8 at a time, which we will be showing you. Trimming. She's even got color theory. So putting colors together, we're going to talk to you about that too. And then some of the projects, I'll show you my favorite one, although there isn't really a great picture of it. So this is my favorite one. This one, yeah. But unfortunately, you can't really see the whole thing. You can sort of see it here in this diagram. So it's kind of like a really big block blown up. It's also on the back cover here, so that you can see a little bit better. And here's some of the other projects. So like sort of a string quilt, more, just different arrangements of half square triangles. And then in the back, she has what she's calling a block party. So these are just 60 different blocks that you can make with just half square triangles. And these are only some, like it's practically unlimited, the different kind of designs you can do with the half square triangle. And then if you incorporate them with other things, 9-patch, that sort of thing, that just doubles, triples the number of designs you can come up with. She also has coloring pages in the back. So for some of her projects, or some of the ones that she's given you sorry, I'm having trouble with my mirrored image here. So some of the ones where she's given you the directions and the layout for coloring pages so that you can also try some different color layouts and try out some different ways yourself before you actually start doing it. But one of the things I like about half square triangles is you can just make a stack of them and then put them up on your wall and come up with something cool. Like there's so many different ways to arrange them. I mean, here it's just sort of scattered, and then we threw in a couple solid blocks as well, just to break it up a little bit. But that's it. Like it's that easy. We just sewed a stack, put them up on the wall, and made an arrangement that we liked. That was it. I happened to find this pillow that was just sitting around the studio here that I made. I couldn't tell you how long ago, but this is all just half square triangles as well, and just laid out to make this. That. I can't do it. But to make this kind of arrow, or I don't know what you want to call it, but that layout, you just kind of alternate.
When it's log cabin, they call it sunshine and shadow.
Really?
When it has that kind of diagonal light and dark.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, yeah. I don't know if this has a name, but
yeah.
But if I hold it a little closer, you can see there. The quilting makes it a little bit harder to tell because I was emphasizing the diagonals, but yeah, that's just a half square triangle right there and there. So there's so many things you can do with this pattern or motif. I'm not element, ingredient, you could say. For quilts. So I think it's going to be, it's a block. It is a block all by itself, but then it also creates other blocks when you sew it and, sew them together. So, I guess it is it is a block and it's on its own, all by itself.
Yeah.
But then
It's a nice
create-
simple block that can lead to really, really complicated, interesting patterns.
Yes, thank you. That was a much more concise way to say it than. If anybody has any questions, if you've wanted to join one of our treats but wasn't quite sure, go ahead and put it in the chat. We are happy to answer any questions you might have. Again, the retreat is going to be July 12th through the 14th, Friday through Sunday, and signups are going to close this Friday though. So we do need some time to get goodies together to ship to you. But it's going to be fun. We always have a good time.
We are going to do something a little different this time. You didn't mention this, right? We're going to do, so
Right.
we always have 3 demonstrations. Each of us leads one demonstration session, and we do it do we do one on Friday, or sometimes we do 2 on Saturday and 1 on Sunday, but we have 3. This time we are recording them in advance, and you will be able to watch them in advance if you're an eager beaver. Because sometimes I felt like, especially our last time, it felt like
Definitely.
people were interested in the thing that we did on Sunday, but then we were done with our retreat, so they didn't get to play with the technique. So if there's one of the things you're particularly interested in, you can watch it in advance. And we will be showing the demonstration live as per our usual schedule, and then doing our Q&A afterwards. But if you are in and you are really excited about whatever we're doing later, you can watch it earlier and do what you want. And I thought that was a nice way to be a little bit more flexible.
Yeah, I think so too. We always get people, writing ahead of time, like, what do I need to prepare? How much yardage do I need? And this and that. And there's no real answer to that question, because it's really up to you. And you can show up with no preparation, no fabric at hand, open. That's totally fine. Open to what comes up and what we show you. Or you can show up having a plan in hand, ready to start sewing. And this way you can watch, if that's how you operate, then you can watch the demos ahead of time, look at the book, and really know how to plan what you want to do or what you don't want to do. That's another good thing to know before the weekend is half over or over, so that you can really arrange your time in the best way for you. So you don't have to watch anything ahead of time if you don't want to. You can just do it like we've always done and watch them when we play them, and ask questions and whatever. Or if you're one of those eager beavers, you can watch them ahead of time this time. So that's a new way of doing it for this retreat. So you guys can let us know how you like that. We have a QR code up on the screen that you can scan for more information and to sign up. Let's see. I'm trying to think what else.
So the demos we're going to do is I'm going to do one on color and scale, both scale of fabric and scale of triangles. Yvette is going to go through the 3 techniques for making half square triangles that are covered in the book. And then Andrea, what are you doing?
I'm going to do design. So show you how to use graph paper, some of the coloring pages in the back of the book, but also there's it's relatively new, but if you watch our videos, I'm sure you've heard me talk about it before. Software called Pre-Quilt that is really good for doing simple designs and recoloring and doing that kind of stuff. So I'm going to do a little Pre-Quilt demo to show you how to do that. And they have a lot of blocks built in, the half square triangle being one of them. So you can really just kind of plop it into a grid and rotate and play and change colors and all of that stuff right in the software. So if you are curious about that, we'll do a demo on that as well. And I think it's really fun, one, to just play with, but also to visualize your project before you actually start doing it. A lot of people have trouble with that, I think, and being able to see, proportion and, how just moving colors around changes things, and easily being able to rotate stuff and all of that stuff. Pre-Quilt makes it really easy. and you can just do it fast and get a lot of different options before deciding on the one that you want.
Yeah.
So those are the demos that we're going to do. So you'll get a little bit of color theory, you'll get the charts for how to, so if you wanted to make a 10.5 inch half square triangle, you know, what sizes you need to cut to get that, or a 2 inch or whatever size you want, so that when you are planning your quilt, your pattern, you're no limitations. You'll be able to make whatever size, whether it's, you know, what she told you in the pattern or the book, or some completely weird size that you made up because you have this idea in your head. We're going to help make that idea happen. And then all of the different ways to make them. I designed a quilt once that had over 200 2-inch half square triangles, and nobody bought it. Nobody wanted to make that quilt, and I don't really blame them. But I made a lot of little half square triangles for that, and definitely used the 8 at a time method for that one. But usually the 2 at a time is good enough for most people, and for me most of the time, to be honest. So, but we'll show you how, in case you do need to make 200 for some reason, speed that up a little bit.
And if you do need to do that, we'll talk you out of it.
We might try to, yes. But, you know.
Hey, sometimes you got to go there.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you got to go there.
Yeah. I'm so excited.
I put up a link to Prequilt. So if that's something that you're curious about, there is a link in the chat that you can click on. We also have the QR code for the retreat right up on the screen. You can also just go to Gotham Quilts, our website, and search retreat. It'll come right up. If you see HST retreat, that is the half square triangle retreat. We've just abbreviated it into HST, which is the common quilter abbreviation for half square triangle. But I mean, this is one of those things, like, you'll use it in almost every quilt you'll make. Yeah, I can't. In the 5 minutes before the video, when I was trying to set up, like, I found this sample, I found this pillow. There's a couple more things I could have pulled out. Like, they're just in so many things that it's one of those nice things to have in your back pocket, to be comfortable with and know you can do and do well. And we'll show you how.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like anybody has questions. I'm not sure what else we have to tell you.
So we have, the Sylvia Sew Along coming up?
Yes. You want to tell us about that?
That is starting July 1st.
Yes.
Ready to be in charge any minute. And we're going to be making our new pattern from Threadsome Patterns, which is wool applique. And we're gonna learn wool applique and then talk about embroidery options. The pattern has some really elaborate embroidery. During the sew along, we'll talk about a little bit more simplicity or simpler options. And I'll do some of the stitches, but I'm not going to do all of them, because doing all of the stitches would be my whole class that takes a whole year to go over. So that's too many. But yeah, so
looks good. It's still going to look good even if you don't do all the fancy stitches.
And I don't know where it is. I have one without any embroidery, and it's still fun and it's still easy to do. And you know, it's one of those. It's hand stitching, so for me, it's very relaxing. So
yeah, I got to get back into that. I got away from the hand stitching for a while.
Yeah. So what else is there? There's also Zoo Family. It's almost time. We're almost out of time for that.
Yes, I think they have until Sunday to sign up for the Zoo Family block of the month. But that's another one. If you've seen this quilt, it's amazing. It is foundation paper pieced, so I would consider it a intermediate, maybe advanced.
I think it's kind of a stubborn beginner would be okay with it too.
Okay, like stubborn beginner, I like that. But we also have some simpler foundation paper piecing patterns that are free on our website. So if you're hesitant or if you've never done it before, that's a good, get your toes wet before starting this big project.
Yeah.
So that's coming up. Sylvie So Long, Block of the Month.
Somebody's
And
watching from Kauai. My goodness.
Wow. It must be
That's a long way.
Midday out there, or even earlier.
It could be a different day. I have no idea.
Me neither.
It's magic.
Yes, that's what it feels like. So yeah, I don't think if we're not getting any questions, I think we're about ready to wrap up. I'll just repeat all the important info again. The Half Square Triangle Retreat coming up July 12th through the 14th. We have a QR code on the screen. Signups end on Friday at midnight. So if you're thinking about it, that's totally fine, but make sure you get signed up before midnight, and that way we'll have time to send you your book and or bundle and whatever other goodies we're gonna give you. But it's gonna be a lot of fun. So even if you've never done a retreat, never joined us for a retreat, it's a lot of fun. So you should come join us. And is that your mom asking if there's any traditional patterns?
Yes, and the half square triangles can be.
It's pretty traditional. I mean, half square triangles could be anything. Like it could be traditional, could be modern. It's one of those that can really be whatever you want. I think.
Yeah, I would say that this one is pretty traditional.
Definitely. Yeah, there's definitely ones in here that I would consider traditional, as long as you were using, traditional fabrics. I mean, even this one,
Yeah.
So definitely can be traditional. It's very versatile. Yes, I think in this case, I think it's more about the fabrics you're using. And then also about the layout, but it can go in any direction you want it to. So definitely traditional, modern, anywhere in between. So we're going to hang out and sew, and we'll show you some demos, teach you a few things, but it's a drop in, drop out, sharing, casual, you can wear your pajamas if you want. You can have a glass of wine if you want. We do have one rule. The only rule is no politics and be nice to each other. That's it. Only rule.
Yeah.
Other than that, have a good time and do what you need to do.
Yeah. And if you have like a UFO that you're struggling with or something and you want to get some input, we all have lots of opinions. We're happy to share.
Yes, we do. That's what I'm going to be. I'm going to be working on an old UFO that is a half square triangle that I started at least 10 years ago. That's like so close to being finished. If I just do it, I could finish it. So that's my goal for that weekend. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
So sign up, come hang out with us, and then you can join us for all the next ones that we plan. Or you can help us plan, actually, because Jen likes to do a little market research while we're at these retreats. So if there's something that you have an idea for, you can run that by us, all that kind of stuff. So it's just fun.
Yeah. Nice, relaxing weekend.
Yeah, definitely. So hopefully we'll see you in July at the retreat. But before that, we will see you next Tuesday for our next Tuesday in the shop. And I think that'll be it for tonight. Everybody have a good night, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.